Good evening, everyone. This is World Poetry Day. So happy World Poetry Day for you all. And we'll be covering a few mainstream famous artists. So I hope you'll like what we sing. रूह से बधी हुई दुनिया इशारे दे, कुछ मेरे राज बात, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, तेरे मेरे रास्ते जादुई मारते, मैं भी हूँ तू भी है यहाँ, खोई सोई सड़कों पे सितारों के कंधों पे हम नाचते उड़ते हैं यहाँ, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, सो गई है ये सांसें सभी, अधूरी सी ये कहानी मेरी, फिसल जाए भी तो डर ना कोई, रुक जाने की जरूरत नहीं, कागज के पर्दे हैं, ताले हैं दरवाजों पे, पानी में डूबे हुए ख्वाब अल्फाजों के, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, खो गए हम कहाँ, रंग साए जहाँ, Thank you. So this song is about friendship, and we know our friendships have ups and downs, but we truly love them still. So here it goes. तू जो रूठा तो कौन हंसेगा, तू जो छूटा तो कौन रहेगा, तू चुप है तो ये डर लगता है, अपना मुझको अब कौन कहेगा, तू ही वजह तेरे बिना बेवजह बेकार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, आजा लड़े फिर खिलौनों के लिए, तू जीते मैं हार जाऊं, आजा करें फिर वही शरारतें, तू भागे मैं हार जाऊं, टूटा तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं। ना है ये पाना, ना खोना ही है, तेरा ना होना जाने क्यों होना ही है। तुमसे ही दिन होता है, सुरमई शाम आती है, तुमसे ही हर घड़ी सांस आती है, जिंदगी कहलाती है, तुमसे ही ये पाना, ना खोना ही है, तेरा ना होना जाने क्यों होना ही है। आँखों में आँखें तेरी, बाहों में बाहें तेरी, मेरा ना मुझको कुछ कहा हुआ क्या, बातों में बातें तेरी, रातें सौगाते तेरी, क्यों तेरा सब ये हो गया, हुआ क्या। मैं कहीं भी जाता हूँ, तुमसे ही मिल जाता हूँ, तुमसे ही शोर में खामोशी है, थोड़ी सी बेहोशी है, तुमसे ही ना है ये पाना, ना खोना ही है, तेरा ना होना जाने क्यों होना ही है। So we'll be performing the last song. So this is Pratik Kuhad. हाँ मैं गुमसुम हूँ इन राहों की तरह, तेरे ख्वाबों में, तेरे ख्वाहिशों में छुपा, ना जाने क्यों ये रोज का सिलसिला, तू रूह की है दास्ता, तेरे जुल्फों की ये नमी, तेरी आँखों का ये नशा,
यहाँ खो भी जाऊँ तो मैं, क्या कसूर है मेरा। क्यों ये अफसाने इन लम्हों में खो गए, हम घायल थे इन लफ्जों में खो गए, थे हम अनजाने अब दिल में तुम हो छुपी, हम है शहर के परछाइयाँ, तेरे सांसों की रात है, तेरे होठों की है सुबह, या खो भी जाऊँ तो मैं, क्या कसूर है मेरा, क्या कसूर है मेरा, क्या कसूर है मेरा। Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Piyush and Sharon from Enigma Band. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry is a weapon which lifts the veil from the hidden beauty of this world. Today, I, Rajesh Patnaik, will take this opportunity to welcome each one of you in this celebration of World Poetry Day. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1999 UNESCO has declared World Poetry Day to be the celebration where poetry is celebrated without any linguistic barriers. And so today we are celebrating poetry in all forms without any linguistic barriers. Today we are joined as a chief guest by our enigmatic DCP of Belgaum, PV Sneha ma'am. I would like to request Abhishek Bendigiri to present a token of gratitude to her. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, she is not only a very disciplined bureaucrat, but also an enigmatic and enthusiastic art lover. We would also like to felicitate two of our important guests today. I would request Madhav Prabhu sir to kindly felicitate Raghu sir from Sapna. Let's have a big round of applause. And now I would like to request Saurav Deshpande, our enigmatic social media expert and co-founder of Rostrum Diaries, to kindly come and felicitate Leena ma'am. Now we cannot begin this event without having few words from Sneha ma'am. I would request Sneha ma'am to kindly grace the stage and say a few words.
Good evening all. Namaste ellarigu. International Poetry Day. The anchor has already given the basics of today's program. I feel this as a privilege that I've been called to on this occasion. First of all, he said I'm a bureaucrat. Now I have different skin of myself. I have one is my professional life, one is my creative life, and other is a normal life. That is a reality. So I think we all go through these stages. Let me be bilingual. I have read much of poetry because I am from a MA background. I have done my MA in English. When I used to read poetry then, it did not make any inspiration I did not gather also, and it did not happen. I just read it for the sake of my exams. I read it very vastly. I can recite many of the stanzas now right in front of you. But it made sense after I had my experience in this life. Now I'm 45. Now, 2 years back, I've started writing. So it took 42 years to sit and write. So we should draw inspiration from ourselves, from life. Like I should say, I hope you won't get bored because I have so many things to tell on poetry actually. This poetry, when we were reading, we would read Matthew Arnold. He would say, what is a poetry? Means it is in at bottom, it's a criticism of life. After that, nobody said, what is that next? Then, interestingly, 2 years back, I just took that definition and I started reading. What is it? Poetry is at bottom a criticism of life. And after that, what? It is a powerful weapon in the hands of a poet to make a difference. And then what? How to live. It teaches you how to live. It teaches how to live. And then you all can say, when they both sang now, I was thinking, ಈ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕವಿತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು and then the music, it is gungu, nasha. It doesn't come to everybody and at every time. So when you want to put this best words in the best order, it takes time. You need to have a life liven. Then I can see many of the youngsters writing poetry. See, it happens. It should come as naturally as what leaves to the trees, or else it shouldn't come at all. That is not what I have said. Keats said this actually. Poetry should come as naturally as leaves to the tree. So that is happening at the younger age. I can see that. See, though we don't have I have a literature background, many of you, you don't have literature background. It is not necessary because you are venting it out. Now the young generation needs the vent. What is a vent? What vent are we looking? Some guy goes and throws the stone. That is a vent. That is a bad vent. So let us have this youth channelized. For what way? It may be sports, it may be art. As you said, art is the best weapon to change the world. Let's all not forget that art in different forms should be encouraged. We are all a set of people like here, almost 50 to 60. We are art lovers. It is having a very narrow space for us. See, poetry should create a space for us. What kind of a space? See, we can't become Keats or Shelley, Kuvempu, Anakra or Adiga. They have created their spaces. Oh, we can't count them. Keats, Shelley, we can't count them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we can only become the 11th one. No, we don't want to become a 11th one. We have to become our own. That is what happened with Kuvempu. Kuvempu, Gopal Krishna Adigarella, 1, 2 anta ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. Because they stand separate. So we younger generation should assimilate them. ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೀಟ್ಸ್ ಶೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಈಗ ರೋಸ್ಟಮ್ ಡೈರೀಸ್, ಅಭಿಷೇಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಷನೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೇರ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ಸು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫೈನ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಐ ವುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟು ಸೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ right from the beginning. You will be more strengthened core in the, if you do something, no, it will be nice. It may be poetry, it may be painting or everything. Have a tradition. Follow the tradition. Tradition will add up to you. It may not be seen in yours. She has a different voice. Maybe Lata Mangeshkar is not in her. She is her own. But she should hear Lata Mangeshkar. So that should happen in every art field. It may be Kannada literature, or he told there is no linguistic bias, he said. Thank you so much. And then coming to poetry, what poetry has made me, if you ask me, like I would say it has made me more human. I stand here as a police officer why am I relevant to this poetry if you ask me? I want to create a value system, a society where there is no bias and we stand all equal. That should be the basis of our poetry. Poetry does different functions. It's like, it's an entertainment. Poetry is entertainment. Poetry is expression. Poetry is, as he said, a changing of the, it's a weapon to change. There is a social change from poetry, yes, but it also makes you human. That is very important. I stand by it. Poetry makes human. So I feel whenever I read poetry, like one of my best lines are from ಡಿ ವಿ ಜಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ವನಸುಮ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ಇದೆ. 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗದಿತ್ತು, ಅವಾಗ ಪದ್ಯ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವನಸುಮದೊಲೆನ್ನ ಜೀವನವು ವಿಕಸಿಸುವಂತೆ ಮನವನ್ನು ಅನಿಗೊಳಿಸೋ ಗುರುವೇ ಹೇ ದೇವ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಇಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ವನಸುಮ, ಕಾಡನ್ ಹೂವು. So wild flower, the same thing is told by Keats. To see world in the grain of sand, he says, and eternity in the wild flower. This is what Keats said. So this wild flower, it tells about the cosmic importance. If you have imagination, then these things are possible. Whatever I'm telling you today, it makes relevance if you are interested in hearing these things. Or it doesn't make anything. You can't have a scientific truth behind this. I feel that what imagination seizes as beauty must be truth. This is what Keats said. What imagination seizes as beauty must be truth, he said. See, that can be relate only when we feel that, or else it doesn't matter. Because these days, again, children are going into fantasy only. What is it? War of Worlds, everything. It is a fantasy again. They want to leave the reality. See, that is the feel of a person nowadays. What is it happening? There is much progress happening in the world. But at the same time, you can't deny the art and go forward. I may say anything outside, but come back, take out my uniform. I am the different human being. I have my creative world. I have my space. So, please, everybody, the younger generation here, have your own space, whichever field, maybe painting or your music or poetry. And then don't much think about your image. Image management has become a crisis nowadays. See, art for your sake. Art for art's sake. Don't think Abhishek doesn't brood like we have only so many people come here. This is such a small function. No, that shouldn't be the lookout. You're doing something, let it be aimful, that's all. Let's give to the world the best by doing all these co-curricular things, apart from running into that rat alley of gaining wealth, car, flat, abroad, the same vicious circle we are in. Let us come out from that and have a better world. And again, Shelley says, poets are the unacknowledged legislatures of the world. And I have felt it, and I'm just feeling it also nowadays. So thank you once again, Sapna and Rostrum Diaries, for inviting me. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We would request you if you can recite few lines of
your own poetry. Oh wow.
Mine has not come into paper still. It's still in my mobile. Yeah. Yeah, let's see in Belagavi only I do it or not. I have intention of writing, everything, putting it on the book. But then, actually first I started in English. But afterwards, eventually, I don't know how it happened, I came to Kannada. Now I'm very comfortable in Kannada. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೆಡ್ ಮಚ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ somehow ಕನ್ನಡ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಆಬ್ಟ್ರಸಿವ್ಲಿ.
That's how the leaf on the tree is.
Okay, ma'am. I'll just recite the initial English poetry, whatever I've written. Very small, very short. I mean, small poems I write. I'm sorry, I have to scroll down and up. It was during the COVID situation. When I was writing, everybody would ask me, ma'am, you're writing very gloomy poems. Why don't you write something for yourself, for your police? So I wrote one for this, We the Warriors. I'd have titled it as We the Warriors. Catastrophe has befallen, all mockery has subsided. We continue in all seasons and situations. Neither warning nor fear of uprooting can terrify us. Leaders are we to ourselves. We wake up for tomorrow's sunshine, birds chirping and sounds of horn. My baton, my colleague, my people. People sneer, churches, temples, mosques are inaudible. The saviors are in uniform, khaki, white, blue. Allegiance to duty, fidelity forever. Our pledge for obedience have no bounds. We continue in delight. Posterity will remember us as men and women in uniform. This is what I've written. And one more, this is very short, please hear this. Memories. Memories are pleasantly tormenting. Desires never die. Suffering is eternal. Men parade their nasty manners. Sorry, it is women also. Men and women, I've taken it in gender neutral. Men parade their nasty manners. Generation progress with gadgets. Sentiments to have a newer versions. Sense of right fades. Nostalgia haunts. Memories, you are accountable. Thank you. And Kannada I have to read out. Please hear me in Kannada. ಸೆಳೆತ. I have titled it as ಸೆಳೆತ ಅಂತ. ಸೆಳೆತಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗದ ಜೀವ ದಿನಕರ ಮುಳುಗಿ ತಲೆದಿಂಬ ವಶವಾಗಲು ನಾವು ಶತಶಿರದ ಮಂದಿ. ಹೃದಯ ಜಾರಲು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಕಾರಣ, ಕಣ್ಣು ಮಾತು ಭಾವ ನಮ್ಮಿಷ್ಟ. ಸಂಚು ಜಗದ ತುಂಬೆಲ್ಲ, ಉತ್ತರ ಸಿಗದ ಸಂಕೋಲೆಗೆ ಗುಂಡಿಗೆ ಛಿದ್ರವಾದರೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಆ ನೆನಪಿನ ಚೂರುಗಳ ಉಯ್ಯಾಲೆಯಾಡಿ ತಂಗಾಳಿಗೆ ಮೈಯೊಡ್ಡಿ ಸುಕ್ಕಿನ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲೂ ಕಿಡಿಕಾಣ ಸಿಗಲು ಮುಗಳ್ನಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮರೆಮಾಚಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರಾಮ, ಯಾರೇ ಹೊರಟಲು ಅಳಿಸಲು ಅವರವರ ಕತೆಗಳ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾತ್ರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾ ಬದುಕಿ ಕೂದಲೊಳಗೆ ಕೈಯಾಡಿಸಿ ಮುತ್ತಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಎಬ್ಬಿಸುವ ಬಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಸುಖವ ನಿವಾಳಿಸಿ ನಾ ಅದ ವಿನಿಮಯ ಮಾಡಲಾರೆ. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's have a big round of applause for P.V. Sneha, and it was such inspiring poetry. Ladies and gentlemen, now last year on this very same day we had launched Belagavi Poetry Festival Season 1, where we had entries of over 5,000 and across all the 29 states in India, beginning from Jammu and Kashmir up to Kanyakumaris and including the Union Territories of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep. Ladies and gentlemen, not only in India, Belagavi Poetry Festival successfully reached across outside India also, in countries like Dubai, Canada and many more. Today, again with the same enthusiasm, we intend to launch Belagavi International Poetry Festival Season 2. I would request P.V. Sneha ma'am to kindly be our guest in this August gathering, and I would request Abhishek Bendigiri, founder member, Madhav Prabhu sir, Swati Jog ma'am and Saurabh Deshpande to kindly come and launch, and also Reena ma'am, please. And unveil Belagavi International Poetry Festival Season 2.
It's a theme-based made by a spy. So it's done by a Belgamite settled in UK. So he did this concept of the literature festival. The intention here is to celebrate the diversity.
And unity.
Yes, and unity. So request is you can go on the stage and the people.
Funny.
Come on.
Come on. Women power is asset.
Very, very strong. Come. Come. You also, Baba, come.
Nadeem, are you?
Come. He's our star poet. Beautiful poetry.
I would now request Abhishek Bendigiri, the founder member, to kindly come and address the gathering and tell us more about Belagavi International Poetry Festival Season 2.
Yep. Thanks, Rajesh. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much, ma'am, Leena ma'am and Sneha ma'am, to join us for this grand launch of the International Poetry Festival. So let me give you a quick glance of why we did this and how we started last year. So last year it was COVID. 2 years, 3 years, it's been a very difficult time for all of us. And we thought, the best way to keep people motivated is keep them involved creatively. And that's where the idea of the poetry festival came into our mind. But question was how? Because it was COVID, we were not supposed to do it, by gathering people because of COVID restrictions and being equally responsible. So yeah, okay. So we launched this Belagavi International Poetry Festival last year, and the USP here was it was run by all of us techies, and we did it all online, and that helped people across the globe to come and participate in this event. And this year we are again launching with the second edition of the International Poetry Festival, that is Belagavi International Poetry Festival 2022, and we are again expecting a lot and huge number of participants across the globe. The whole intent is very simple. We want our city, Belgavi city, to be known for right reasons across, right? Especially for the literature. And I feel we are all gifted, as I say every time, that we have a mixed kind of culture here, be it is from Kannada, Marathi, Konkan is here, Urdu is here, so a lot of good languages. And I feel that this Belagavi Poetry Festival is an opportunity for all of us to celebrate this literature. And with this, we are launching the second season of this very year for the Poetry Festival. And we hope to bring in a lot of such literature events down the line. And even Indian Poetry Festival is in the pipeline. And hopefully, in the next couple of years, we should be in a state to do this. And thank you so much for joining us. And I would now request Rajesh to take it over and let other participants perform. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the celebration for Belagavi Poetry Festival has already begun. We have certain poets among us today who will be gracing the stage and performing for us. Our first poet I would like to call is Chetna ma'am. I would like to invite her up to the stage and recite her beautiful words. Recite her mesmerizing words. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. These lines were penned by me, and it is dedicated to all the clueless and the confused and lost minds. We are all a little bit lost in some situations. Good evening. Good evening. Once again. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I don't see it coming either. I don't see it coming either. Constantly battling to pick it up point blank. Constantly battling to pick it up point blank. If at all I enjoyed the beauty of blankness, if at all I enjoyed the beauty of blankness, I would stare in the space, believing in serendipity. I would simply stare into the space, believing in serendipity. Tied with time, waiting for that shine. Tied with time, waiting for that shine. I tried to find him in many idols. I tried to find him in many idols. I found God is in time. I found God is in time. Meanwhile, my dear restless mind, meanwhile, my dear restless mind, couldn't you just breathe and embrace life? Couldn't you just breathe and embrace life? After all, life is a matter of time. After all, everything is a matter of time. That's my time. Thank you.
Those were the mesmerizing words by Chetna Sarang. Ladies and gentlemen, as we said, World Poetry Day focuses on about celebrating poetry without any linguistic barriers. We have a poet with us today who's a chartered accountant by profession, but has written excellent words and excellent poetry in Marathi language. I would like to request Pushkar Ogle sir to kindly come up on the stage and present his poetry.
नमस्कार. जागतिक कविता दिनानिमित्त सर्वांना शुभेच्छा. आज मी माझ्या वडिलांची कविता सादर करतोय मराठीमध्ये. दोन कविता सादर करतोय. पहिल्यांदा एक कविता सादर करतो. कवितेचं नाव आहे माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. आयुष्याची हवी कशाला संदर्भास स्पष्टीकरणे. आयुष्याची हवी कशाला संदर्भास स्पष्टीकरणे. कवितेच्या या खोल कपारीत माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. शब्दांनी मज जखमा केल्या शब्द घालती त्यावर फुंकर. शब्दांनी मज जखमा केल्या शब्द घालती त्यावर फुंकर. शब्दांचे सलौरी घेऊनी माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. नको विचारू प्रश्न पुन्हा तू ऐकवीन मी माझी कविता. नको विचारू प्रश्न पुन्हा तू ऐकवीन मी माझी कविता. कळेल तुला या ओळींमधुनी माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. आणि शेवटचा शेर आहे. शब्द जाहले श्वास आणखी काळ जातया शब्द स्पंदने. शब्द जाहले श्वास आणखी काळ जातया शब्द स्पंदने. कविते हाती सोपविलेवी माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. कविते हाती सोपविलेवी माझे जगणे माझे मरणे. दुसरी कविता सादर करतो. हे एक विडंबन आहे. अशी एक कल्पना करा की दोन मित्र संध्याकाळी बसलेले आहेत आणि त्यांच्यामध्ये चर्चा सुरू आहे की नक्की काय ऑर्डर करायचं. तर त्यातला हा संवाद आहे. मराठीतले ज्येष्ठ कवी ग दी माडगुळकर यांची कविता आहे सांग मला रे सांग मला. आई आणि बाबा यातून कोण आवडे अधिक तुला. तर त्या कवितेचं हे विडंबन आहे. तर पहिल्यांदा त्यांची क्षमा मागतो आणि हे विडंबन सादर करतो. सांग मला रे सांग मला विस्की आणि रम यातून कोण आवडे अधिक तुला. सांग मला रे सांग मला. असं चर्चा सुरू आहे त्यांच्यामध्ये. तर पहिला मित्र म्हणतो विस्की दिसते गोजिरवाणी थोडा सोडा थोडे पाणी. पूर्ण सोडा नाही, थोडा सोडा थोडे पाणी. विस्की दिसते गोजिरवाणी थोडा सोडा थोडे पाणी. बर्फ टाकूनी मजेत प्यावी ग्लास भिडवून ग्लासाला. विस्की आवडे अधिक मला. पहिला मित्र म्हणतोय. तर त्याला दुसऱ्या मित्राचं उत्तर आहे गोजिरवाणी दिसते विस्की परंतु असते भलती रिस्की. गोजिरवाणी दिसते विस्की परंतु असते भलती रिस्की. सकाळ होता डोके चढते जाऊन देई कामाला, रम आवडे अधिक मला. पुन्हा तोच मित्र. काळी सावळी असते रम, थंडीमध्ये करी गरम. काळी सावळी असते रम, थंडीमध्ये करी गरम. कोल्यामध्ये मिसळून घेता कळेन काही कोणाला. चुपचाप कोका कोलामध्ये मिसळून पिऊन टाकायचं, कोणाला काही कळत नाही. काळी सावळी असते रम, थंडीमध्ये करी गरम. कोल्यामध्ये मिसळून घेता कळेन काही कोणाला, रम आवडे अधिक मला. पुन्हा पहिला मित्र. थंडीमध्ये करी गरम, बरोबर आहे. थंडीमध्ये करी गरम, पण नशेत नसतो काही दम. थंडीमध्ये करी गरम, पण नशेत नसतो काही दम. विस्की पिता विमान उडते, सुसाट जाई या भाळा. विस्की आवडे अधिक मला. तशीच घेता रात्री भाई, तशीच म्हणजे नीट. तशीच घेता म्हणजे विदाउट मिक्सिंग एनिथिंग. तशीच घेता रात्री भाई, थंडी वारा लागत नाही. एक मिनिट, त्याच्या आधीच आहे काय. विस्की पिता भान न उरते, भेदभावना सारी सरते. विस्की पिता भान न उरते, भेदभावना सारी सरते. विस्की पिऊन मालक करतो सलाम रात्री गुरख्याला. म्हणजे मालक स्वतःच सलाम करतो गुरख्याला. आणि शेवटचं आहे नकोच. हे कन्क्लुजन आहे आता, म्हणजे आता दोघांमध्ये काय नक्की ठरतंय बघा. नकोच रम, नकोच विस्की. नकोच रम, नकोच विस्की. मदिरेहूनही विवाद रिस्की. किती वेळ बोलत बसणार ना, तर मागवायला पाहिजे काहीतरी. नकोच रम, नकोच विस्की. मदिरेहूनही विवाद रिस्की. थंडगार चल बियर पिऊया, काठोकाठ भरू प्याला. बियर बरी तब्येतीला. सांग मला रे सांग मला, विस्की आणि रम यातून कोण आवडे अधिक तुला. सांग मला रे सांग मला. धन्यवाद.
Some lovely words by Pushkar sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have two good news for you. The first good news: Sapna Book House, on the account of World Poetry Day, has announced 10% discount on the books which you see towards your right. If you can go through the books, if you are interested, you can buy them, and you can avail the 10% discount. The offer is only for today. The books are all poetry related. Now I said two good news. A second good news is we have a dynamic lady in between us, and I would now request her to come and address the gathering. I would now like to request Leena ma'am to kindly come up on the stage and address the gathering and her views about the poetry festival.
Good evening. Good evening, friends, dear ma'am, and wonderful guests here. I've seen a bunch of talents here, so I don't stand anywhere. I would just say that I'm just a person who would say, "Wow, kya bola inhone." Ma'am, she said some poems written by her. It was really wonderful. I could see khaki में भी कमाल का poetry है. It's really beautiful event organized by Rostrum Diaries. The entire team has been working, and the best thing is, as Patnaik ji said, there is no language barrier. So we have heard about Baswana ji's vachanas, Akkama ji's vachanas, Kuvempu ji, and we have heard about lot of Kannada poets, kirtanas of Kanakdas ji, but we don't forget the other poets also, like Bendre ji, who was a Maratha by language and religion, but he wrote beautiful Kannada poems. So the same way, there are a lot of people who have inspired many big personalities. For example, you must have heard about Leo Tolstoy. I hope you all are aware. Gandhi became Mahatma Gandhi after reading his books. There's one book, God's Kingdom Within Me. So this was written by Leo Tolstoy in late 80s. So this was read by Gandhiji when he was in South Africa. So after hearing that, the change was the transformation which he felt, okay, yes, I have to do something for my country, came that time. So the poem, it's just not love for nature, love for mother, or for a lover. Here the poem became Kranti. So we have seen lots of poetries which have turned from, it has turned into Kranti and given a different change for the entire country. So if you compare just not Gandhi, we all have love for poem in one or the other way. Sometimes I hate to see that my daughter, younger daughter, I have just one daughter, Ria, when she recites poems, I keep saying, Appa Devre, ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು, where the hell we are going to remember these poems? But I do understand these lovely words, when they come like a pearl set, the way they have been put up, and there's a lot of meaning. Definitely, reciting becomes difficult, but when ma'am said that when we grow up, when we have maturity, we realize the importance of that poem. The same thing, now there are a lot of people who have written poems. Sir told about Marathi poem, whiskey, rum, and all that thing. Definitely, there's comedy in that. See, poetry can be a sorrow one, can be happier one, can be a revolting one. It all depends on which kind of poem we like. Sometimes एक मूड होता है, शाम का मूड बन जाता है, एकदम रोमांटिक गाने भी सुन लेते हैं, तो अगेन योर पोएम कम्स इनटू लिरिक्स एंड वो गाने का माहौल अलग हो जाता है. तो आई वुड appreciate the entire team and Sapna Book Stall for giving a lot of young talents a platform to come together, and they have mentioned that but this International Poetry Festival 2022, they said this is the second year, and I wish them all the best, and I definitely wish all the best to all the young poets, the budding poets, and definitely all the best to our PV Sneha ma'am G also, who is a budding poet, and definitely she will get a good publisher. And I would like to tell one more thing. I'm sorry he didn't introduce me properly. Just Leena ma'am nahi, I'm Leena Topandavar, Anand. I'm married to Anand. Basically, I come from a newspaper background, media background. I've been into newspaper till 2014. After that, I have chosen a different profession. During my media days, we in North Karnataka, we have given platform to many more poets. It could be a small writer, story writer, or it could be a poet. We have given a lot of chance to students. We used to have columns on Sundays. So our newspaper is Kannadamma. So now it's run by my brother. So those 14 years, I was very happy to be a voice for voiceless women. So whenever I felt that any woman is having a tough time, so I would be a voice for them. So sometimes definitely न्यूज़पेपर वाले थोड़े पंगा लेते रहते हैं पुलिस वालों से, तो मैंने बहुत बार पंगे लिए हैं. तो definitely I got very good support from police department. थोड़ा टसल रहता है, but definitely when we are trying to help somebody, they also act as a support system for us. So public, everybody does not get a good publisher, but the media line helps a lot when it comes to giving platform for small poets. It could be, these days social media is doing excellent job, though everybody does not have sufficient time, or they would love to read everything on the social media platform. But I would love that more and more people read books, because books are the best friends. Friends are spendthrift, they say, spendthrift of time, but books will always remain with you. And I request all my younger friends here to please read books. Every time you read a book, you are carrying knowledge. Your friends will simply waste your time, but what knowledge you carry, that is going to help you lifetime. And again, I'm wishing everybody all the best, and thank you team Rastam Diaries and Sapna Bookstall.
Thank you, ma'am, for such inspiring words. Now, our next participant is a three times Rostrum awardee. Ladies and gentlemen, a conceptual poet and a man of his own words. I would like to call upon stage Sagar Belgunkar.
Good evening, all the beautiful peoples over here. I'm going to recite a poem written by Robert Frost, Stopping Woods on a Snowing Evening. Whose woods this are? I think I know. His house may be in the village though. He may not see me stopping over here to watch his woods fill up by snow. My little horse may think it queer to stop without an farmhouse near. Between the woods and the frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if something is wrong. The only sound that we hear is of the wind and the snowy flakes. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and to travel a miles before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The next poem is dedicated to a soldier, the soldier of every nation. So here it is. If I die in a war zone, pack me in a box and send me home. Put my medals on the chest and tell my mother I did the best. Tell my father not to bow. Tell my brother to study perfectly, because henceforth my bike keys will be his permanently. Tell my sister not to be upset, because I will take a long sleep after the sunset. Tell my nation not to cry, because I am a soldier born to die. Thank you.
As I said, man with mesmerizing words. Ladies and gentlemen, now we again move across the borders of language. I would like to call upon stage Sonam Katkarji, who can come and recite her poetry in Marathi. Please let us have a big round of applause for her.
नमस्कार, माझं नाव सोनम कातकर. तुम्हा सगळ्यांना जागतिक कविता दिनाच्या खूप खूप शुभेच्छा. तर असं कायम होतं की रोस्टमदारीचा कार्यक्रम असतो आणि तेव्हाच नेमकी माझी परीक्षा असते आणि यावेळी तेच झालं आहे. त्यामुळे स्वलिखित कविता सादरीकरण मी करत नाही आहे, पण माझी खूप आवडती कविता मी इकडे सादर करते आहे. ती सुरेश भटांची आहे आणि कवितेचे नाव आहे सजण दारी उभा. तर ही जी कविता आहे मी थोड्या प्रमाणात गायन पद्धतीने सादर करते आहे, त्यामुळे मला माफी असावी माझा सूर इकडे तिकडे गेलास. खूप भीती वाटते कारण इकडे सगळे गायक बसलेले आहेत त्यामुळे. तर ही कविता अशी आहे. सजण दारी उभा काय आता करू. सजण दारी उभा काय आता करू. घर कधी मज कधी सावरू सजणदारी उभा. मी न केली सखे अजून वेणी फणी, मी ना पुरते मला निरखले दर्पणी. अंसडाहीन मी टाकिला अंगणी, राहिले नहाणे राहिले नहाणे. कुठून काजळ भरू घर कधी आवरू, मज कधी सावरू सजणदारी उभा. मी न दुबळी कुडी अजून शृंगारिली, मी न सगळीच ही आसवे माडिली. प्राणपूजान मी अजूनही बांधिली, कायदारातुनी कायदारातुनी. परत मागे फिरू घर कधी आवरू, मज कधी सावरू सजणदारी उभा. बघ पुन्हा वाजली थाप दारावरी, हीच मी ऐकली जन्मजन्मांतरी. तीच मी राधिका तोच हा श्रीहरी, हृदय माझे कसे हृदय माझे कसे. मी जरी हृदय धरू घर कधी आवरू, मज कधी सावरू सजणदारी उभा. धन्यवाद.
Indeed, a very soulful performance, Sonamji. Thank you so much for gracing the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Belagavi Poetry Festival also focuses on a very primary and very important language, Kannada. Today, we have with us certain poet and poetess who are going to perform in the language of Kannada. I would like to call upon stage Geeta Kaddiji so that who can come and perform her poetry in Kannada language. Please.
ಹಲೋ, ಶುಭ ಸಂಜೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಸ್ನೇಹ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಚೀಫ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಬಡಿಂಗ್ ಕವಿ ಕವಿತ್ರಿಯರಿಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಮುಖ್ಯರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಅಮುಖ್ಯರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದು ಯಕಶ್ಚಿತವಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೊದಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ತುದಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯೋ ನಿಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೊನೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಸರಕ್ಕೂ ಸಮಾಧಾನದ ಬೆನ್ನನ್ನೇ ಏರಲು ಪಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಅವ್ಯರ್ಥವಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀರಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೀರ್ಥನೇ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕವಿ ನುಡಿ ಅನ್ನಬಹುದು. ಯಾರದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲು ಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಕವಿಯಾದ ಕುವೆಂಪುರವರ ಹನಿಗವನ. ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳಿಂದಲೂ ನಾನು ಕುವೆಂಪುರವರ ಪೋಯಟ್ರೀಸನ್ನು ಓದಿನೇ ಬೆಳೆದವಳು. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಅವರದೇ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಧುರವಾದ ಕವನವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲು ಇಚ್ಛಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗಹೃದಯ, ಏತಕ್ಕೆ ಭಯಮಾಣು, ಸೂರ್ಯೋದಯ ಚಂದ್ರೋದಯ ದೇವರ ದಯೆ ಕಾಣು. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗಹೃದಯ, ಬಿಸಿಲಿದು ಬರೀ ಬಿಸಿಲಲ್ಲವೋ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಕೃಪೆ ಕಾಣು. ಸೂರ್ಯನು ಬರೀ ರವಿ ಅಲ್ಲವೋ ಆ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ ಮಾಣು. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗಹೃದಯ, ರವಿ ವರವೇ ಶಿವನ ಸದನವು. ಬರೀ ಕಣ್ಣದು ಮಣ್ಣು, ಶಿವನಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯವೇ, ಶಿವ ಮುಖವೇ ಕಾಣು. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗಹೃದಯ, ಉದಯವೊಳಗಿನ್ ಹೃದಯವ ಕಾಣ್ ಅದೇ ಅಮೃತದ ಹಣ್ಣು. ಶಿವ ಕಾಣದೆ ಕವಿ ಕುರುಡನು, ಶಿವ ಕಾವ್ಯದ ಕಣ್ಣು. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗ ಹೃದಯ, ಏತಕ್ಕೆ ಭಯ ಕಾಣು. ಸೂರ್ಯೋದಯ ಚಂದ್ರೋದಯ ದೇವರ ದಯೆ ಕಾಣು. ಆನಂದಮಯ ಈ ಜಗ ಹೃದಯ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕವಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಇರುವುದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ, ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಇರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥವೆಂದು. ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗಮನವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲು ಬಯಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ತನವೂ ನಿನ್ನದೇ, ಮನವೂ ನಿನ್ನದೇ, ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಧನವೂ ನಿನ್ನದು. ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನವನೆಂಬ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ತೃಣವು ಮಾತ್ರ ನನ್ನದು. ನೀನು ಹೊಳೆದರೆ ನಾನು ಹೊಳೆಯುವೆನು, ನೀನು ಬೆಳೆದರೆ ನಾನು ಬೆಳೆಯುವೆನು. ನನ್ನ ಹರಣದ ಹರಣ ನೀನು, ನನ್ನ ಮರಣದ ಮರಣವೂ ನೀನು. ನನ್ನ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನೇ ಯುಕ್ತಿ, ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯದೇ ನೀನೇ ಭಕ್ತಿ. ನೀನೇ ಮಾಯಾ ಮೋಹಶಕ್ತಿಯು, ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯು. ಇದು ಕುವೆಂಪುರವರ ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾದ ಕವನವಿತ್ತು. ಇದರ ಸಮರಿಯನ್ನು ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ನಂಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ and the most beautiful poet that poet Kuempu has written. Thank you so much.
It was such a lovely moment for us to hear you, ma'am. So guys, when I'm saying the word celebration does not just border itself with poetry or words. We have a spectacular band with us, the Nikom band. I would like to invite them on stage and request them to give another spectacular performance which they have been giving all these days. Let's have a big round of applause for them, guys.
Check. Check. So hello guys. Check. I'm Batman. Hi guys, I am Omkar Surekar and this is my band Nikom. He is Nikhil Achmani. The name Nikom, it's not Nikon. Nikon is a camera. It's Nikom, Nikhil and Omkar. So we were standing there and we came up with this name right now, looking at you people. Like, you're so inspiring. चलो मतलब like अंदर से आ जाता है. Okay, is it fine if I talk in multiple languages? Yeah. I don't need permission because rostrum is about like every language, right? So yeah, so I'll be performing few songs. Hope you guys like it. The first one is by Lucky Ali. I believe anything happens by chance or by choice. So this song also happened by choice. Like Lucky Ali जी को जाना था जल्दी, उनको अबू धाबी घूमना था. So he wrapped up everything and जल्दी में song record कर दिया. And even he didn't know that ये song जो मैं भी आपके सामने ये करने वाला हूँ present, वो इतना hit होगा. Like all of you know Lucky Ali, right? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. Please respond to me. Why? Because ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बजती, right? Yeah. So we have a good audience, both the sides. I usually do this thing. I divide sides, which is मतलब आपको ये करने के लिए, what, थोड़ा entertain और energetic feel करवाने के लिए. So the first song is called as O Sanam. I hope you guys know this song. So let's get started. I hope I'm audible. सवेरे तेरी यादें आती है, आके दिल को मेरे यूं तड़पाती है. ओ सनम कसम बिछड़ना तो दस्तूर हो गया यादों में मैं जो तुझसे दूर हो गया ओ सनम मिली यादों की कसम Yeah, so these are the few lines of this song. Thank you. I like this clapping thing, by the way. Motivate करता है ना. So the next song is I'll wrap it up very quickly. So the next song is a Marathi song. मी मराठीमध्ये बोलेन ह्यासाठी. हे सॉन्ग जे आहे ते एका मूवीपासून आहे जे टाइमपास आपण बघितला चला टाइमपास त्याच्यात एक सॉन्ग आहे की म्हणजे ते मुलगा आणि मुलगी जे अंडर एज असतात त्यांच्या बेसिकली इट्स द स्टोरी लाईन इज दॅट. सो हे गाणं एवढं छान पद्धतीने ते लोक सादर केलेत. ह्या गाण्याचं नाव आहे प्रेम की यातना. दिस इज अ सॅड सॉन्ग. सो या सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. कधी वाटे मन का हरवते असुल पाहून का विरवते प्रेम की यातना नवे नाते रोज गोड भेटी आता सजा नाव येता ओटी प्रेम आजूबाजू मोठी कुंपणे नको मरणाला जुनपणे हे प्रेम की यातना पाखरू हृदयातले मनमानी करी बहरते कोमेजले वणवा काउरी मनास फाटले डोळ्यात साठले आभाळ फाटले कधी वाटे मन का हरवते असुल पाहून का विरवते प्रेम की यातना हो हे प्रेम की यातना. So hope you guys like it. You guys are enjoying. Yes or no? Yes. Again that tally thing. Yes or no? Yeah. So the next song is also a Marathi song. This song, मतलब ये song जो है ना मुझे मेरी mom से पता चला. Like my mom used to listen it on radio. We used to have on radio. ये song का नाम है ही चाल तुरु तुरु. I perform it every time. You guys love it. So इस बार भी someone had requested me to perform it. So let's get started. He चाल तुरु तुरु he is depicting मतलब वो है ना अच्छे वे में present कर रहा है that how he feels about a girl, which is a good thing nowadays. Okay, so let's get started. 1, 2, 3, go. ही चाल तुरु तुरु उडती केस भुरु भुरु डाव्या डोळ्यांवर वट ढळली दागिन सळसळले, दागिन सळसळले. So thank you guys, hope you like it.
Thank you, Omkar and Nikhil. Let's have a big round of applause for Nikom Band. Ladies and gentlemen, now I am going to introduce you to a man who has been a celebrated voice when it comes to audio and podcast stories. 2 years before, we had initiated, if you guys have followed our Rostrum Diaries page, we have initiated a short story called Gubbi. He was the voice of Ved in that. Ladies and gentlemen, a theatre artist from Belgaum who has been a celebrated artist across international borders, like to call upon stage Mr. Abhijit Jayantrao Deshpande to kindly come out on the stage and present his poetry.
चेक चेक. उपस्थित सभी श्रोतागण, आज के प्रमुख अतिथि पीवी सिंधु जी, फट रहे. हाँ, ओके. आवाज ही वैसा है मैडम, कुछ कर नहीं सकते. हाँ. तो फिर से उपस्थित श्रोतागण और आज के प्रमुख अतिथि पीवी स्नेहा मैम, डॉक्टर माधव प्रभु जी, स्वाति जोग जी, अभिषेक बेंडीगिरी और राष्ट्रम डायरीज के सभी पदाधिकारी और आज के सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स का मैं, और सपना बुक स्टॉल के ओनर, उनका भी मैं स्वागत करता हूं. और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को भी मैं फिर से एक बार धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि आपने बहुत ही अच्छी पोइट्री यहाँ पे पेश की. वैसे मैं पोइट नहीं हूँ, मैं एक छोटा मोटा एक्टर हूँ और वॉइस ओवर एक्टर हूँ, तो मैं किसी की नहीं, गुलजार साहब यहाँ है, गुलजार साहब की पोइट्री मैं आज आपको सुनाने वाला हूँ, जिसका नाम है दोस्त, और वो पोइट्री गुलजार साहब ने लिखी है. तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैं कुछ लाइनें आपके सामने पढ़ सकूँ. एंड वन मोर थिंग, अभी जो क्लैप बॉक्स पे बैठा था अचमनी, हाँ अचमनी मनी नन मनी कड़े ना था. यस, I know him. So let's start with. Okay, इस कविता का नाम है कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं. कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं, तुम कह देना कोई खास नहीं. कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं, तुम कह देना कोई खास नहीं. एक दोस्त है कच्चा पक्का सा, एक झूठ है आधा सच्चा सा. जज्बात को ढके हुए पर्दा है बस, एक बहाना है अच्छा अच्छा सा. जीवन का एक ऐसा साथी है जो दूर होके भी पास नहीं. कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं, तुम कह देना कोई खास नहीं. हवा का एक सुहाना झोंका है, कभी नाजुक तो कभी तूफानों सा. शक्ल देखकर जो नजरें झुका ले, कभी अपना तो कभी बेगाना सा. जिंदगी का एक हमसफर जो समंदर है पर दिल को प्यास नहीं. कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं, तुम कह देना कोई खास नहीं. एक साथी जो अनकही कुछ बातें कह जाता है, यादों में जिसका एक धुंधला सा चेहरा रह जाता है. यूं तो उसके न होने से कुछ गम नहीं, पर कभी कभी आंखों से आंसू बन के बह जाता है. यूं तो रहता है मेरे तसव्वुर में वो, यूं तो रहता है मेरे तसव्वुर में वो, पर इन आंखों को उसकी तलाश नहीं. कोई पूछे तुमसे कौन हूं मैं, तुम कह देना. थैंक यू.
दोस्तों, आपने जिनकी आवाज़ अभी अभी सुनी वो थे अभिजीत देशपांडे, एक ऐसे कलाकार जिन्हें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे भी मान्यता मिल चुकी है. देवी और सज्जनों, ये एक ऐसे कलाकार है जिन्होंने भारी भरकम मतलब पूरे जोश के साथ बेलगाम और बेलगाम के बाहर और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे एक आर्टिस्ट के तौर पे अपना योगदान दिया है. He is an artist who has his own potential and his voice, in which he has made a name, and the voice is celebrated internationally in terms of audiobooks, podcasts. He's also been a theater artist, and he's been appreciated for this art. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Rostrum Diaries believes in motivating and felicitating such people who have immensely contributed into the field of art. Today, we take this opportunity to felicitate Abhijit Deshpande ji. I would request PV Sneha ma'am to kindly present the citation of honor to him. And ladies and gentlemen, we call the citation of honor as Young Achievers Award. Let's have a big round of applause for Abhijit Deshpande ji. No team is successful without our mentors. At this moment, I would like to call upon stage one of our mentors, Dr. Madhav Prabhu sir, to come and address the gathering and tell us about his experience and his views upon Belagavi Poetry Festival. Let's have a big round of applause for Dr. Madhav Prabhu sir.
Good evening. Somewhat out of sync. Because I am not a poet. But I do get to stand on this stage because I have friends around. And all this is brought to you by Gubbi, which is, of course, our production house. And Gubbi is also the pet name of our, come here, of our chairman. So Gubbi is Sparrow. Today is, of course, the International World Sparrow Day, and we have our own Gubbi. And we also had Abhijit, who performed as Gubbi, I believe. So Gubbi is lucky for us. So International Sparrow Day, I thank all the Gubbis here. They say that men of action speak less, but I think it doesn't go for the woman, because we had today a lady who is a lady of action and also words. Thank you for coming here today, ma'am. I was taking an examination just day before yesterday, and Abhishek was tense because he said, "Sir, aap kahan ho, exam le rahe ho?" So I was asking my students. There was a neurology case. So I asked him, "Yes, tell me what is the difference between speech and language?" So he started muttering something. I said, "Whatever gibberish you are speaking, if you put it in medical language, I will pass you." So there is a difference between speech and language. And the best way to express your language is poetry. See that a lady who performed today in the sari, Sonam. So she was telling in Marathi that there is a lady who did not have a bath and who's sitting at home. She's wearing dirty clothes. There's rubbish everywhere in the house. If I speak this out, you'll say, "Arey yaar, kaun si gandi ye hai." But she said, in a way that there is a knock on the door and I feel my beats beating, and then I'm not ready. I'm so worried. I look at the mirror. I'm not ready. So this is a beautiful way of presenting the same thing. So poetry is the best way possible. And we have an advantage here, ma'am. I'll tell you why. Because we can understand poetry in any language. See, you call Ambika Tanaya Datta or Dara Bendre, who was Marathi, if you know. But his best poetries came out in Kannada. So it is the language which your heart wants to speak that is more important. And this linguistic advantage that we are having in Belgaum is not there in most parts of Karnataka. Because here, Kannada, Marathi, Konkani, Telugu, whatever you say, we appreciate it. And this was once considered the best stage possible for any artist. People used to come from Hubli Dharwad, Gangubai used to come from Hubli Dharwad, Pula Deshpande came from his place, he came first here, settled here, was recognized and then went to Pune. So this was an artist's paradise. And Gubbi Boos and Rostrum Diaries, together we want to bring back that lost glory to Belagavi. And this all comes at a price. So when we keep searching for sponsors and we keep searching for that, we are trying to innovate and find out methods where we can be self-relevant or self-reliant. One of the ways is this magazine, Artly Times, which we have come up. I request all of you to subscribe and be with us in that. Ma'am, I assure you that Abhishek is ready to publish your poetries. And although somebody suggested that you publish, so madam, we already have a publishing house. Abhishek is looking keenly at identifying poetries. Someday he's going to have his. In fact, the left hand corner book that is there, that is also belonging to one of our directors. That's Miri Raghavan. That is also our publication enterprise. So we are going to do that, and all of you are going to get a chance. I mean, I keep following Abhijit on Facebook, and he's a wonderful artist. Today, first time I'm seeing you, and I wish you come back every time and perform and give us your best. All the best to all of you, and I assure you that Gubbi Boo, Rostrum Diaries will give you more platforms. This time it is a second thing, ma'am. Yes, last time there was COVID, and thoda emotional poetry tha sabka, thoda sad note pe tha. This time we are expecting happy poetries. 5,000 last time we had entries from UK, Australia, everywhere. We never knew that Kannadigas in Australia or UK also write poetry. Somehow when you go outside, that language binds you or attracts you so much that you write poetries also. So this year we are expecting more. We are expecting one entry from Madam also. So I hope Abhishek is going to do a lot of announcements after this. But then I assure you that we will give you the platform you deserve. And together, you be part of this thing. It's an open enterprise. All of you can be part of Rostrum, and all of us together will make this organization great and Belagavi great again. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as I have repeatedly said, poetry has no linguistic barriers. We had a poetess earlier who had recited her poetry in Kannada, and she is back again to recite another poetry in English. Please put your hands together for Geeta Kaddiji.
Hello. Good evening again, Madam Chief Guest and the Augustine and the wonderful, wonderful gathering. People tend to ask me, Geeta, being a psychologist, how this inclination towards poems? I only tell them, poetry for me is not just fine words of rhythming sentences and sophisticated sentiments that have come together. Poetry for me is deeper than that. Poetry for me is an emotion. Poetry for me is a promise, and definitely poetry for me is a never-ending love story. Secondly, I'm going to recite one of my favorite poetries for two reasons. One is because of the mysterious concepts and the consequences that time tells us in our life. Secondly, time telling us that it is not just the thing, but it is the only thing in life. And it keeps on telling us, live life before time leaves us. Well, my readers, my time is precious, yet why I waste it? I dwell too much on what cannot be changed, and my mind won't let it do. So I sit and think, mull things over, while the hands of time move forward. Your time is money, yet you throw it away. Time is living and squandering. Yet I have spent too much of time crying, wishing for things beyond my control, wanting time to change. I have looked for times for solutions, wishing for it to move swiftly through rough times and slow down during good times. But time has never compelled or cared for anybody. Has it for you? Perhaps no. Always moving at its relentless pace. Time is not friend to me, nor to you. It is greedy, taking your youth before you are ready, replacing it with brittle bones, knees that hurt and hands that shake. Tick-tock, always ticking, never stopping and never ever caring. Time, today I ask you, you think you have it all? Can you overshadow me, oh time? I'm telling you, that's just not so. Time, you really can't beat me. Even now, as I lay dying here, my body so tired, this mind so overused. Time, you just keep on ticking. Today, I'm leaving you behind, dear, to a place beyond your control where my family awaits me. Forever, we'll be together. So, tick tock, tick tock. I'm free to be at peace. A smile upon my lips and love in my heart. Family and friends once lost, now found. It's neither tea nor coffee, neither wine nor whiskey. Just make yourself free. Come, sit with me. Just because you're free, you just can't make time to change by your time. Because you too know that a spur it all takes for people to make mistakes. Oh mighty time, please wait, not putting our lives at stake. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for those lovely words. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to regional poetry in the language of Kannada, we have such an established poet, the published poet, who has established an epitome with his words. I would like to call upon stage the man with his beautiful words. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Nadeem Sanadi.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪಿ ವಿ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರೇ, ಬಹುತೇಕರಿಗೆ ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಡಿ ಸಿ ರಾಜಪ್ಪ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದರು, ಅವ್ರ ಕವಿಗಳು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಿ ಆರ್ ರವಿಕಾಂತೇಗೌಡ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಸೂಪ್ರಿಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು, ಅವರು ಕವಿಗಳು. ಸೊ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಟು ಬೆಲ್ಗಾಮ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅ ಪೋಯೆಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. And Madhav Prabhu sir mentioned today's words Sparrow Day, and Gubbi is Abhishek's nickname. So let us wish him a very happy birthday on a lighter note. ನನ್ನ ಎರಡು ಕವಿತೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಓದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ಕವಿತೆ, ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು, ವಿ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಫೂಲ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಿ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಫೂಲ್ಸ್. ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು. ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಕೆಣಕಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲ ಪುಟಗಳು ಮಾಯವಾಗಿವೆ. ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಕೆಣಕಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಪುಟಗಳು ಮಾಯವಾಗಿವೆ. ಕೆಲವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಕೆಲವಕ್ಕೆ ತೇಪೆ ಹಚ್ಚಿ, ಕೆಲವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಳಿದು ಹೊಸ ಹಾಳೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲಿನಂತೆ ಜೋಡಿಸಿಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಾಲುಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವು ನಾಮಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವು ಅರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವು ಯೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೆಲವು ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅಳಿಸಿ ಹಾಕುವ ಹುನ್ನಾರ. ಇಡೀ ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು. ಇಡೀ ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು. ಸಿಗರೇಟು ಸೇದುತ್ತಾ, ಕಾಫಿ ಹೀರುತ್ತಾ, ಟಿವಿ, ಪೇಪರ್, ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ಕಿನ ಸೊಲ್ಲುಗಳ ಸತ್ಯವೆಂದೇ ನಂಬುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಐಸು ತುಂಬಿದ ಗ್ಲಾಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಸ್ಕಿ ಹೀರುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಗುಂಪೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಕ್ಷರಗಳ ಎದೆ ಸೀಳುವ ಧಾವಂತ. ಯೋಚಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇವೆಲ್ಲವುಗಳ ಗೋಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯೋಚಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಇವೆಲ್ಲವುಗಳ ಗೋಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ವರ್ತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಮಹಾಪುರುಷರೆಲ್ಲ ಷಂಡರಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಇಡೀ ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕಂಡೂ ಕಾಣದಂತೆ, ಇಡೀ ಚರಿತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಹಾಮುಠಾಳರು ನಾವು. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕಂಡೂ ಕಾಣದಂತೆ, ತಿಳಿದೂ ತಿಳಿಯದಂತೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನಿದ್ದು ಬಿರುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಕಾಣದಂತೆ, ತಿಳಿದೂ ತಿಳಿಯದಂತೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನಿದ್ದು ಬಿಡುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಅರ್ಧಸತ್ತ ಹಾಳೆಗಳು, ಹೊರಗೆಸೆಯಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಅರ್ಧಸತ್ತ ಹಾಳೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಜರಿಯುತ್ತವೆ, ಹೀಯಾಳಿಸುತ್ತವೆ, ಗಹಗಹಿಸಿ ನಗುತ್ತವೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಲಿಗೆ ಸುಲಿಗೆಗಳು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಗಮನಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಲಿಗೆ ಸುಲಿಗೆಗಳು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಗಮನಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಮಂದಹಾಸ ಎಂದಿನಂತೆ ಬೀರುತ್ತಿದೆ, ಮಂದಹಾಸ ಎಂದಿನಂತೆ ಬೀರುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಎರಡನೇ ಕವಿತೆ. ರಷ್ಯಾ ಮತ್ತು ಯುಕ್ರೇನಿನ ನಡುವೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ 25 ದಿನ. ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಯುದ್ಧ ನಿಲ್ಲುವ ಮುನ್ಸೂಚನೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಹಳ ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾದಂಥ ಸತ್ಯ. ಅದೇ ನನ್ನ ಕವನದ ಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆ. ಕವನದ ಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಬಡಿ ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವಾರ್. ಇದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸೀನ್ಗಳು ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಶತ್ರುಪಾಳ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ 2 ದೇಶಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಏನೇನು ನಡೀತಿರ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಸೀನಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಯಟ್ರಿ ಇದೆ. ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಒನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಏನಾಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ಕುಟುಂಬ, ಅದೊಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ಕುಟುಂಬ. ಗಂಡ, ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಹೆಂಡತಿ, 3 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಗಳು. ಗಂಡ, ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಹೆಂಡತಿ, 3 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಗಳು. ಗಂಡ ದೇಶ ಕಾಯುವ ಸೈನಿಕ, ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಮನೆಯೊಡತಿ. ಬಾಳ ಬಂಡಿಯು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ನಾಯಕರಿಂದ ಯುದ್ಧಘೋಷ. ಬಾಳ ಬಂಡಿಯು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಿಂದ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ನಾಯಕರಿಂದ ಯುದ್ಧಘೋಷ. ವೈರಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಆಕ್ರಮಣ. ಗುಂಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಗಂಡ, ಗುಂಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಗಂಡ, ಔಷಧಿ ತರಲು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋದ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಕ್ಷಿಪಣಿ ದಾಳಿಗೆ ಬಲಿ. ಗುಂಡೇಟಿಗೆ ಗಂಡ, ಔಷಧಿ ತರಲು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋದ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಕ್ಷಿಪಣಿ ದಾಳಿಗೆ ಬಲಿ. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿನ ಮಗಳು ಈಗ ಒಂಟಿ. ಎರಡನೇದು ಈ ಕಡೆ. ಅದು ಸೇನೆಯ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್. ಅದು ಸೇನೆಯ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್. ಸಿಕ್ಕಷ್ಟು ಶತ್ರುಗಳ ಸದೆಬಡೆಯಲೆಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಗಿನ ತುಂಬ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ಡುಗಳ ಬದಲಾಗಿ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಷ್ಟು ಶತ್ರುಗಳನ್ನು ಸದೆಬಡೆಯಲು ಬ್ಯಾಗಿನ ತುಂಬ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ಡುಗಳ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಬುಲೆಟ್ಟು ಗ್ರೆನೇಡುಗಳನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸೈನಿಕ. ಈಗ ದಾಳಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ. ರಾಜಧಾನಿಯ ಗಲ್ಲಿ ಗಲ್ಲಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈನಿಕರ ಅಟ್ಟಹಾಸ. ಮನೆಗಳ ದೋಚುತ್ತಾ, ಸಿಕ್ಕವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗುಂಡಿಡುತ್ತಾ ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸೈನಿಕ ದಳ. ಹಗಲಿರುಳೆನ್ನದೆ ಹಗಲಿರುಳೆನ್ನದೆ ಝಗಮಗಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದ ನಗರ ಈಗ ಬಹುದೊಡ್ಡ ಸ್ಮಶಾನ. ಹಗಲಿರುಳೆನ್ನದೆ ಝಗಮಗಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದ ನಗರ ಈಗ ಬಹುದೊಡ್ಡ ಸ್ಮಶಾನ. ಈಗ ಇಬ್ರು ಬೆಟ್ಟಾಗ್ತಾರ. ಬಂದೂಕುದಾರಿ ಸೈನಿಕ ಮನೆಯೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ನುಗ್ಗಿ ತಡಕಾಡುವಾಗ, ಬಂದೂಕುದಾರಿ ಸೈನಿಕ ಮನೆಯೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ನುಗ್ಗಿ ತಡಕಾಡುವಾಗ ಕೋಣೆಯೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಸದ್ದು. ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ 3-4 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಗು. ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿದರೆ 3-4 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಗು. ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡ ಕೂಸು. ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡ ಕೂಸು. ಬೂಟುಗಾಲಿನಿಂದ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಬಾಗಿಲಿನೊದ್ದು ಒಳಹೊಕ್ಕು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್. ಬೂಟುಗಾಲಿನಿಂದ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಬಾಗಿಲಿನೊದ್ದು ಒಳಹೊಕ್ಕು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಎಂದ ಸೈನಿಕ ಬತ್ತಿದ ಕಂಗಳ ಹೊಕ್ಕು ಕೊಂಚವೂ ಅಲುಗಾಡದೆ ಕೂತಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತಿದ್ದ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಷಣ ವಿಚಲಿತ. ಸೈನಿಕನನ್ನು ಕಂಡೊಡನೆ ಮಗು, ಸೈನಿಕನನ್ನು ಕಂಡೊಡನೆ ಮಗು ಎದ್ದು ಬಂದು ಅಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತು. ಸೈನಿಕನನ್ನು ಕಂಡೊಡನೆ ಮಗು ಎದ್ದು ಬಂದು ಅಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತು. ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಕು ಎಂದಿತು, ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಕು ಎಂದಿತು. ಸೈನಿಕನ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಮಾಂಚನ. ಶತ್ರು ದೇಶದ ಸೈನಿಕ. ಸೈನಿಕನ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಮಾಂಚನ. ಕಠೋರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಸೈನಿಕ ಈಗ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಾಗುವ ಘಳಿಗೆ. ಕಠೋರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಸೈನಿಕ ಈಗ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಾಗುವ ಘಳಿಗೆ. ಕಲ್ಲು ಕರಗುವಂಥ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ. 100 ಹೆಣಗಳ ಉರುಳಿಸಿ ರಕ್ಕಸನಾಗಿದ್ದ ಸೈನಿಕ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನವನ್ನುಣಿಸಿ ಅದೇ ತಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೂ ಅನ್ನ ಉಣ್ಣುತ್ತ. 100 ಹೆಣಗಳ ಉರುಳಿಸಿ ರಕ್ಕಸನಾಗಿದ್ದ ಸೈನಿಕ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನವನ್ನು ಉಣಿಸಿ ಅದೇ ತಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನು ಉಣ್ಣುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಹೆಣಗಳು ಉರುಳಿದಷ್ಟು ರಂಗೇರುವ ಯುದ್ಧ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಹೆಣಗಳು ಬಿದ್ದಷ್ಟು ರಂಗೇರುವ ಯುದ್ಧ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಗೆಲ್ಲುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬರು ಸೋಲುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಗೆಲ್ಲುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬರು ಸೋಲುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಗಡಿಯ ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಮಗನನ್ನು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತಂದೆಯನ್ನು, ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಗಂಡನನ್ನು, ಪ್ರೇಯಸಿ ಪ್ರಿಯತಮನನ್ನು ಎರಡೂ ದೇಶಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ನೂರಾರು ಜನರನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತವೆ. ಯುದ್ಧಗಳು ತುಂಬಲಾರದ ನಷ್ಟಗಳನ್ನು ತರುತ್ತವೆ. ಯುದ್ಧಗಳು ತುಂಬಲಾರದ ನಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ತರುತ್ತವೆ. ಪರಮಾಣು ಬಾಂಬುಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದರೇನು? ಪರಮಾಣು ಬಾಂಬುಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದರೇನು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನೆಂದೂ ಬಳಸದಿರೋಣ. ಪರಮಾಣು ಬಾಂಬುಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದರೇನು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನೆಂದೂ ಬಳಸದಿರೋಣ. ಇದ್ದಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಕೂಡಿ ಬಾಳೋಣ. ಇದ್ದಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಕೂಡಿ ಬಾಳೋಣ. ಸಮರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಶಾಂತಿಗೆ ಸಲ್ಲ. ಸಮರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಶಾಂತಿಗೆ ಸಲ್ಲ. ಬದುಕಿನ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಮನುಷ್ಯನೇ ಬಲ್ಲ. ಸಮರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಶಾಂತಿಗೆ ಸಲ್ಲ. ಬದುಕಿನ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಮನುಷ್ಯನೇ ಬಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nadeem Sanadi, who a sensational writer and a poet whose words have always brought tears into people's eyes. Now, when we said the word celebration, it is not only words and it is not only music. We, to commemorate and make this session more celebration more memorable, we have a cake cutting now. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request my team to please present the cake, and I would like to request our chief guest for today, Sneha ma'am, our mentors Madhav sir, Swati ma'am, to kindly come, and Leena ma'am, please join us in cutting of the cake. And yes, all the brilliant artists and poets who are here, please step forward. Yes, yes. Sagar. It's March and it's just hold everybody's hand, okay? Definitely, thank you. The beautiful cake what you saw was sponsored by Archie's Cake. We thank them from our core of our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, now as we come to the end, we have a beautiful young poetess among us. She has penned beautiful words, and each time she recites, it feels as though flowers blossom out of her mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and encourage Mehak onto the stage.
Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and I'm महक मकानदार और आज मैं एक कविता बोलने वाली हूँ और उसका टाइटल है एक नई ज़िंदगी जीना तुम। ये कविता मैंने उन लोगों के लिए लिखी है जो चाह कर भी खुद से प्यार नहीं कर पाते और जो खुद में ही रहते हैं, लोगों से बहुत डरते हैं. सो दिस इज़ फॉर देम. कौन कहता है कि अक्सर अंधेरी रात के बाद रोशनी आती है? कौन कहता है कि अक्सर अंधेरी रात के बाद रोशनी आती है? तुम देखना कुछ लोगों को यही बड़ा सताती है. तुम देखना कुछ लोगों को यही बड़ा सताती है. बताती है हर राह पे हर मोड़ पे तू गलत है, बताती है हर राह पे हर मोड़ पे तू गलत है। तेरी आदतें तेरी चाहतें तेरी हरकतें कपट है, तेरी आदतें तेरी चाहतें तेरी हरकतें कपट है। क्यों रुका है आकर यहाँ, क्यों रुका है आकर यहाँ, चला जा यहाँ से। तू ना ही किसी की मोहब्बत है, तू तो खुद में ही एक बेगैरत है। तू तो ना ही किसी की मोहब्बत है, तू तो खुद में ही बेगैरत है। बेगैरत मीन्स बेशरम एंड इन इंग्लिश इट्स प्राइडलेस। तो अरे रुक जाओ तुम कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे, अरे रुक जाओ तुम कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे। तुम तो खुद से डरते हो लोगों से क्या लड़ पाओगे, तुम तो खुद से डरते हो लोगों से क्या लड़ पाओगे। चुप बैठे रहो, चुप बैठे रहो अपनी इस तन्हा गुफा में। बाहर उम्मीद की किरण है तुम उससे जल जाओगे, बाहर उम्मीद की किरण है तुम उससे जल जाओगे। पर सुनो तुम्हें एक बात बताऊंगा, पर सुनो तुम्हें एक बात बताऊंगा। दुनिया नहीं हूँ जो झूठा प्यार जताऊंगा। सुनो तुम्हें एक बात बताऊंगा, दुनिया नहीं हूँ जो झूठा प्यार जताऊंगा। मैं तो तुम्हारे अंदर हूँ जिसे भूल बैठे हो तुम, मैं तो तुम्हारे अंदर हूँ जिसे भूल बैठे हो तुम। दिल हूँ तुम्हारा खिलौना नहीं जिसे तोड़ बैठे हो तुम, दिल हूँ तुम्हारा खिलौना नहीं जिसे तोड़ बैठे हो तुम। बताओ क्यों मुश्किलों में रहते हो तुम, बताओ क्यों मुश्किलों में रहते हो तुम, क्यों ख्यालों में बहते हो तुम। अरे तुमसे भी तो कोई पूछे भला, अरे तुमसे भी तो कोई पूछे भला। क्या क्या हर रोज सहते हो तुम, क्या क्या हर रोज सहते हो तुम। गलती सिर्फ तुम्हारी नहीं जो तुम्हें गलती सिर्फ तुम्हारी नहीं जो तुमने अपने दिल को मायूस किया है, गलती सिर्फ तुम्हारी नहीं जो तुमने अपने दिल को मायूस किया है। मैं तुम्हारा जहन भी रुका हूँ यहाँ जिसे लोगों ने भी बर्बाद किया है, मैं तो तुम्हारा जहन भी रुका हूँ यहाँ जिसे लोगों ने भी बर्बाद किया है। जहन मीन्स माइंड। मगर अब छोड़ दो यूं अंदर ही अंदर घुटना तुम, मगर अब छोड़ दो अंदर ही अंदर घुटना तुम। लोगों से और रोशनी से जो डरते हो उनसे नजरें मिलाना तुम, लोगों से और रोशनी से जो डरते हो उनसे नजरें मिलाना तुम। फिर देखना ये जिंदगी तुम्हें कितनी हसीन लगने लगेगी, फिर देखना ये जिंदगी तुम्हें कितनी हसीन लगने लगेगी। एक कोने में बैठे रोते थे जो, एक कोने में बैठे रोते थे जो, अब सबको हंसाना तुम, अब सबको हंसाना तुम। बस यही नहीं एक नई जिंदगी जीना तुम, बस यही नहीं एक नई जिंदगी जीना तुम। लास्ट में 2 लाइन्स बोलना चाहूँगी। हाल भी ना पूछा तुम्हारा मलाल भी ना पूछा, हाल भी ना पूछा तुम्हारा मलाल भी ना पूछा। ये कैसे लोग हैं तुम्हारी ज़िंदगी में, ये कैसे लोग हैं तुम्हारी ज़िंदगी में जो किसी ने सवाल भी ना पूछा, ये कैसे लोग हैं तुम्हारी ज़िंदगी में जिसने सवाल भी ना पूछा। थैंक यू।
बहुत खूब महक, हम आपसे ज़रूर ये सवाल पूछते रहेंगे कि आप क्यों नहीं आती है हमारे इवेंट में, मगर आज जो आपने कहा, जो आपने रिसाइट किया, बहुत अच्छा लगा, सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, this event would not have been possible if we didn't have a venue partner with us, Sapna Book House. I would now like to call upon stage Mr. Raghu, who will, and ask him to say a few words and share his experience with Roshan Diaries. Please come, sir.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I wish everyone a happy poetry day, International Poetry Day today. So it's really a right way of celebration. ನಾವು ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಕವಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಜಾಗದಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಇರಬಹುದು, ವಿಚಾರ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪೊಯೆಟ್ರಿ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗ್ಯಾದರ್ಡ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ದ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಬ್ ದ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ವಿತ್ ಬೋತ್ ಮೈ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. I thank Abhishek for that, Abhishek and the whole Rostrum Diaries team for that. And also, I thank each and every participant to be a part of this celebration. It is we've always, Sapna always wishes to be the part of art, literature, and again, poetry is also a part of literature. So we have lot of books in with poetries in them. Most of you also can become it, these books can be an inspiration for you to become an author of a book, a poetry book. It happens, we write one poetry a day, or once in a time, live once in some few days, and one after some collection, what to be done, it has to become a book. It has to become a book, and it has to reach many people. It's just not, it should not get restricted to this stage. It should go on. That is the main interest. Our wish is, Sapna's wish is to each and every person who is having interest of writing, even it could be poetry, it can be stories, those books should come out. Small stories, collection of stories, those should come out, and it should reach people. So we are working towards that. And this stage, again, it's a small platform. It's a beginning for such big dream of all yours. So yesterday when it rained, I was the first person. If it rains tomorrow, what it would be if the event is an outdoor? Immediately I called Abhishek. Then we discussed and we decided to have the event here. So Sapna is a shelter for all you people in interest with literature, poetry, and art. I thank everyone here participating, and I thank ma'am particularly. Immediately you accepted our invite, altogether our invite, and you are here with us, and in your schedule the whole event you are here. So please, let the whole city be let the whole city be peaceful always like this. Thank you. Thanks once again.
Indeed, sir, we are really lucky to have you as our constant support. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, the registrations for Belagavi Poetry Festival are now open. If you are a poet or not, if you have the flow of words, please register for this festival and enjoy the experience of Belagavi International Poetry Festival. You can register by going onto the website www.belagavipoetryfestival.com. Now, as Raghu sir has thanked a lot of people, I would again like to call our founder member Abhishek onto the stage and propose the vote of thanks.
So thank you so much for joining us today, especially DCP ma'am. Thank you so much. It really means a lot that you are spending your time with us. And Leela ma'am, thank you so much. And a lot of people are there behind this. A lot of planning is being done. Big team, volunteers, our BPF core team. There's a huge team who has been working relentlessly over the last 3 months before this day of launching the International Poetry Festival, because there was a huge responsibility on us that people are expecting a lot. And last year there were 5,000 poetries, and this year we want much more. And setting up the IT part was the most challenging one, and we all coming from the tech side, we did a very fair job in setting up the IT. And I would like to thank the Digital Tala, who happens to be the IT partner, and setting up this amazing website on our thepoetryfestival.com, where anybody across the world can come and participate. And I have few people to thank through. Number one is Mr. Raghu. I have no words to express. Yesterday it was raining, and we had a different venue altogether for this very event, and it started raining yesterday evening. And Belgaum rains are completely unpredictable. And it was Raghu sir who called me yesterday night. And it was by him. It's not like, before I could even think of today's event, it was Raghu sir called me up last evening and said, Abhishek, don't worry, if it rains, Sapna is there. See, business is one. And coming forward and supporting for a literature forum like this is always that we look for. And that is how Rostrum has partnered with a lot of people. And as Dr. Madhav sir said, Rostrum is all by people like you. It's people buy you, and it is because of you this rostrum has built over the last 8 years. And we look forward to make this happen much more bigger, so that people across different diversities who are here in Belgaum make use of this for platform. And we're also now getting into Bangalore, and also to some extent outside India as well. We are that the constant struggle has been always there, but we look forward to be an enterprise where we cater the young talents, and that is where the poetry festival is here, and the literature festival is also around the corner. And we have a wonderful magazine called Outlet Times. We request all of you to please subscribe. It's totally free of cost. We have got 45 lakh readers as of date, and we look forward to have much more readers in the days ahead. And thank you so much. And I would like to thank Piyush and Sharan from Enigma. I think they are just okay. I think they left. Okay. So, but yeah, they were a wonderful band. And Omkar and Nikhil, thank you so much for being amazing performance here. Thank you. Yeah, Sharon and Piyush are there. Thanks. So, I would also like to thank Excogitate Productions. Thanks Deepal and Henry for covering this amazing. So it's too much of effort, and I really appreciate these two folks who have been a very good support for us. And KLU University, because they gave us a very good interns across. Thank you so much. There is a huge team to mention, which I will be mentioning each of them in the valedictory event of Poetry Festival, which will happen in August. So as like Rajesh said, the Poetry Festival is started right from today and will go until May 22nd. You can just go onto the website and submit your poetries. And there are few people who have supported this poetry festival. To start with, we have Fast Networks, who has been very kind enough to sponsor our poetry festival. We have Nexus Media, we have Sapna Book House, we have Digital Tala, who happens to be the IT partner, All About Belgaum, who happens to be a streaming partner, Excogitate Productions, who happens to be our digital partner, and Varya Ventures. And that is all from Gubiboo Ventures. And thank you all for joining us. And we have a cake which is kind of a feast to all of you, so please be there and have this, and have a great evening ahead. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to host you again. So again, an announcement from Sapna Book House. For the evening, we have a 10% discount exclusively on the poetry books which are displayed on your right. So you can buy the book where you will get 10% straight discount, and it's in all the languages. Sure. Hello ma'am, thanks for coming ma'am, it really means a lot. Ma'am, can we take a small bite of yours?
Yeah.
Deepal? Hey, side to